Hello, salutations. What it do is stop the gamer off out of the Durag gang. Know the vibes like a scrub. Let's get it. And we got those patch notes. I was wondering when I was live, I was reading the blog and I was like, they have a patch coming out and the blog only has 3 sentences about it. Where are them patch notes? And sure enough, here they are. Better late than never. Crystal Dynamics just dropped these, so I'm going to react to them live. Not literally, I am recording this, but here is what they say, and I'll do my best to break them down for you. All right, so Elite Villain Sector and the Rest for the Wicked, blah, blah, blah. That's basically what they put, basically what they had in the blog. Yep, Monica, Source of Power, 2.6 coming 9/20. So 9/20 this Tuesday, patch is coming. Here's what we're looking for. Hero updates. In Update 2.6, we'll be making the first changes and tweaks to heroes as part of the ongoing process we announced in our August development blog. To make sure that every character continues to feel like the superheroes they are, this update adjusts heroic abilities, with every hero receiving at least 1 buff to a heroic. In future updates, we'll be making changes to other parts of our heroes' designs as well, not just to balance the combat, but to support every aspect of the superhero experience. And they go into detail further down in the blog. I didn't read all of them, but I did read that much. So each hero is getting buffs to their heroics so far. Global changes. Firstly, to better balance our combat, we reviewed our enemies' attacks and heroes' hit reactions to damage. We want to alleviate problems of systemic combat situations where players can be overwhelmed and spammed with too much damage at one time from multiple enemies. Basically, the stagger. People have called Avengers a stagger simulator. This is the update that is going to fix that. Let's see how they are doing it. They've incorporated armor on the player that will completely protect players from damage within that fraction of a second, not only granting players a fair amount of time to escape any follow-up attack, but also granting priority back to the initial enemy attacker who won't have their own attacks interrupted by collateral damage. This armor only lasts on the player until they're able to abandon the reaction through dodging, evading, or jumping. So it sounds like when you initially get hit, you're going to get some kind of immunity armor, and it's meant to basically give you an opportunity to respond. And the armor lasts until you apparently dodge, evade, or jump, basically giving you time to get out the way. I wonder if it counts if you activate a heroic or something. We'll see. This sounds like easily something that can be broken too. I'm just imagining this not working properly, and then all of a sudden, all of your characters just have permanent armor for the rest of the fight. But we'll see. Another global change we made applying to our heroes is that when players activate heroic attacks, all pushback damage done now applies stun damage and scales with heroic and melee damage instead of just heroic. That's interesting. So triggering a heroic now will apply stun damage essentially when it pushes back enemies, and you can increase the scale based on your heroic rating, which you can increase with Valor, and melee damage, which you increase with might. That is interesting. All right. Let's look at the individual hero updates. Iron Man is getting a buff to Unibeam across the board. Damage from Unibeam will no longer be reduced when attacking targets that are beyond mid-range. So this is across the board for Iron Man's Unibeam. He used to have reduced damage when the Unibeam extended too far. Now that does not count. He's getting increased for the reserve capacitor's attack damage to 65%, specialization capacitor stun damage by 275%, increasing the power of the Omega Beam attack by 175%, and the stun damage from the Unibeam to 455%. So it looks like stun damage and damage overall to Iron Man's Unibeam has been greatly increased, making you much more incentivize you to use it more often. Arc Overload, damage done with Arc Overload along with Valor also scales in might. Interesting. So they're kind of subtly pushing melee in here by incentivizing you to actually have that might stat. Interesting. So if you want to increase the damage done with your arc overload, your support, then you stack Valor. But if you have Might, that also works as well. Good change so far. Looks like Hulkbuster is getting another buff. Software updates to Hulkbuster's operating system have been intermittently deployed within past updates to bring Iron Man's skill and gear functionality proportionate to other heroes' ultimate heroics. Hulkbuster 2.0 will now utilize any hero skills, gear perks, and other stats effects equipped on Iron Man, and will retain these abilities even when another pilot operates Hulkbuster. That sounds dope. So basically anything any skills, any gear perks, anything Iron Man has will be applied to Hulkbuster, and all that will still apply even if another hero is piloting the Hulkbuster. That's pretty dope. They increased the Magnum missile attack stun damage from the Hulkbuster by 135%, and damage from Hulkbuster's Unibeam is no longer reduced. So same thing for Iron Man's Unibeam. It no longer gets reduced damage once you go beyond your range. Hawk's rage intrinsic ability now deals gamma damage. Nice. Perfect for those gamma infinite heroic builds. Willpower recovered through rage when struck by an enemy has been increased to properly scale with enemy power levels beyond level 1. That's actually hilarious. That's been like that the whole time. So when Hawk gets damaged and uses rage to recover, it will actually properly scale. Increase the duration of Rage's overcharge from 3 seconds to 10 seconds. Big dub there. We were wondering if they were going to touch overcharge in this update, and that is true. That is what's happening. Overcharges are getting buffed. Willpower recovery generated through Rage will also generate when Rage is overcharged. Very, very nice. So Hawk mains celebrate. They're not done either. Stranglehold. Just as Stranglehold initiates takedowns on adaptoids and exo enemies, crawlers are now susceptible to Hawk's Stranglehold takedown attack due to their noticeably large size. Oh, sick. So when you do the Stranglehold, it will also apply a takedown animation to those giant spiders. Makes sense. Nice. Takedown damage initiated by Stranglehold along with Might now additionally scales with Valor. Very, very good. I'm surprised it wasn't like that already, but so now if you have a lot of Valor, that's another buff for Valor Hawk players. I have a Valor and Might Hawk build right now, so that helps. It also gave a blanket increase of Stranglehold's attack damage by 106%. Increased the Stranglehold's stun damage by 40%. Increase Stranglehold specialization, array destruction's hazard duration by 2 seconds. That's leaving when he's leaving Gamma after doing the Stranglehold. That's duration's buff by 2 seconds. Increase Stranglehold specialization stun damage by 400% and status damage by 1900%. Wow. I feel like something's going to be broken here with some of these numbers. I feel like either it's not going to properly apply and characters are not going to do any damage, or characters are just going to be deleting everything. like we'll be testing this very thoroughly on Tuesday. Stranglehold specialization array destruction now activates the radio hazard when attacking exos, adaptoids, and crawlers. Okay, so flat buff to Stranglehold. Bone Shaker, here we go. Damage done by Bone Shaker along with Valor now additionally scales with Might. Oh, so that's a buff for my Hawk build. I have a Might and Valor one. Increased Bone Shaker attack damage by 115%. Increased Bone Shaker attack stun damage by 200%. Holy, Hawk is going to be broken. Oh, let's see what they're going to do with Thunderclap. They previously nerfed Thunderclap. You used to be able to basically one-shot bosses with a single Thunderclap, and they nerfed it severely. So now they've increased the attack damage of Thunderclap by 85%. They increase ground zero stun damage by 40%, and they increase the status damage from ground zero, which is the gamma cloud after you do the Thunderclap, by 99%. Okay. Looking forward to this. Thor updates. They increased his duration for overcharge from 3 seconds to 10 seconds. Crazy how all of these overcharges only lasted for like 3 seconds. After Jane Foster's, they felt like they had to change it for all the other characters. So glad they're doing it so soon. God Blast. Damage done by God Blast now scales with precision. Interesting. Increased the God Blast attack damage by 50%. Oh boy. Increased God Blast shock damage by 200%. Holy. Decreased God Blast specialization thunderstorms damage by 200%. Holy. No, not making God Blast stronger. Oh no. Oh no, they made God Blast stronger. Warrior's Fury. Damage done by Warrior's Fury attack along with Valor now scales with might instead of precision. Interesting. Damage done by Warrior's Fury lightning strikes along with Valor now additionally scales to precision. So if you have a interesting, if you have a Valor and precision build, you get a little boost there, as a lot of people did. Increase Warrior's Fury attack damage by 225%. Increase Warrior's Fury attack stun damage by 30%. I feel like if these numbers are right, like actually actually apply like this in game, they're definitely doing a damage buff nerf. There's no way they're not. Bifrost. Damage done by Bifrost along with Valor now additionally scales with might. Hazard damage done by Bifrost specialization Muspelheim's Torment now scales with Valor. So they're changing a lot of these so that they're making the stats you invest in with your gear a little more valuable by incentivizing you to have multiple stats invested in. So if you want to do a might, you want to do precision, they're giving you incentive to not overlook some stats that you may not want on your build. Increase Bifrost specialization Muspelheim's Torment, hazard damage by 180%. Increase Bifrost attack stun damage by 50%. Man, those infinite Bifrost builds about to go hard after this patch. Holy. Black Widow. Please tell me you fixed the invisibility. No, I don't see it. Increase the duration of shadow ops from 3 seconds to 10 seconds. So looks like everyone's getting an overcharge buff that previously had an overcharge of only 3 seconds. Let's see, we're getting a 70% increase to Widow's Bite damage, 70% increase to the Taser Dart, 33% increased stun damage to the stun from the Taser Dart, 25% shock damage increase for the Taser Dart, and the Lightning Fist gets 80% damage increase. Widow does a lot of damage with that Assault Heroic, so this should be interesting. Veil of Shadows, damage done while invisible with Veil of Shadows scales with Valor and Might, so incentivizing you to do a melee Widow build as well, scaling wise. Increase Veil of Shadows attack damage by 60%. Corrected Veil of Shadows specialization throwing description from 20% to 420% increased damage. Man, Power Surge, that's her ultimate. Damage done by Power Surge along with Valor now additionally scales with Might. Increased Power Surge attack damage by 400%. Increased Power Surge attack damage by 100%. That's the ultimate. Black Panther. Yeah, Black Panther definitely needed some increase. His heroics did not do jack. King's Mercy gets a 400% attack damage increase, and it needs every bit of it. Stun damage increased by 100%. Increased stun damage from medium to high. Crank it all the way up. Crank it all up. Increase King's Mercy specialization ABC attack damage by 630%. Yep. Crank it all up. Crank it. For the Kimoyo beads, increase the bead attack damage by 30%. Increase the Kimoyo stinger attack damage by 11%. And the recovery beads attack damage by 66%. That's good. So his support heroic, which attacks you whether you are attacking with it or using the healing specialization, give you a little bit of damage. Yeah, Black Panther definitely needed this for his heroics. All right, now for his ultimate, damage done by Bash Chosen along with Valor now scales with might instead of precision. Also, now I can build myself a melee Panther, maybe. Increase Bash Chosen attack damage by 100%. Damage done by Bash Chosen specialization of Door ones now scales with might and Valor. Okay, so when you summon the Door Laajune, now if you have if you invest in Valor and might, they will do more damage. That's very good. Bash Chosen one's attack damage, stun damage increased by 100%, and Adora one's vibranium damage increased by 900%. So big buffs for Black Panther. Let's see how they work in game. Captain America, his looks a little short, but I see Steamroller. Increase Steamroller attack damage by 240%. Definitely needs it. Also think they should add status damage to it. Increase Rally Cry attack damage by 60%. The Rally Cry damage now scales with Valor and Might. Increase stun damage from low to medium. And for Brooklyn Brawler, increase attack damage by 400%. Damage done by Brooklyn Brawler along with Valor now additionally scales with Might, and it increased stun damage from low to high. So basically, it incentivizes you to get a little melee with your Cap. Okay, I see him. Hawkeye gets literally one thing, which is fair. He did not really need it. Hawkeye is already broken. Damage done by Recovery Arrow along with Valor now additionally scales with precision. So little something. Yep, that's perfectly fair. I don't want to hear a single complaint, Hawkeye mains, in terms of your damage. You do more than enough. Hawkeye mains, keep silent. If they didn't patch any of the cheese in 2.6, I don't want to hear nothing. Kate definitely needed this. She has a lot of buffs. Damage done by Warp Arrow, Quantum Explosion, along with Valor now additionally scales with Might. Damage done by the Warp Arrow itself continues to scale with Valor and ranged as designed. Increase the Warp Arrow damage by 80%. Feel like that should be higher. Increase Warp Arrow damage, stun damage by 150%. Damage done by Warp Arrow specialization Singularity, along with Valor, now additionally scales to precision. Very good. And they increase the attack damage of the Singularity by 80%. Stun damage by 325%. And they increase stun damage from medium to high. So that Singularity Arrow getting a nice little buff as well as the Warp. Decoy, here we go. That Decoy attack damage gets a 150% buff. Increase the probability matrix attack damage by 150%. So now that that Decoys should be doing a lot more damage. Damage done by After Image along with Valor now additionally scales with Might. So if you see a piece of gear with Might on it for Kate, you don't necessarily need to get rid of it. Okay. After Image now breaks block on enemy guard. Nice. Damage done by self-destruct along with Valor. Additionally scales with ranged. Okay. Good for the ranged builds. Increase self-destruct damage by 8%. And stun damage by 30%. Quantum Overdrive. Damage done by Quantum Overdrive along with Valor now additionally scales with Might. And they increase Quantum Overdrive attack damage by 565%. And the stun damage 150%. Oof. I can't wait to test that out. Jane got a little something. She gets a little something across the board. Okay. Damage done by God Blast along with Valor now scales with precision. Interesting. Increased XYZ attack damage by 50%. Increased God Blast shock damage by 200%. And increased God Blast specialization thunderstorm damage by 200%. So a little buff for God Blast as well. Warrior's Fury along with Valor now scales with Might instead of precision. Damage done by Warrior's Fury lightning strikes along with Valor now additionally scales precision. So her and Thor basically getting some of the same buffs. Increase the Warrior's Fury attack damage by 225%. And increase the Warrior's Fury stun damage by 30%. For the all weapon, increase the attack damage by 135%. I definitely felt that needed a little buff. Miss Marvel getting a little love, just for the high five. She is getting another indirect buff, I think, from the stagger update. The big problem with Miss Marvel is that her ultimate, I feel like she should not get staggered like she does. So we'll see if those changes affect that. The high five gets a 240% damage increase, 400% stun damage increase, and they've increased the specialization damage of the different versions. Up high, 240% boost. Up high stun, 400% boost. Too slow damage, 240, and it's stun 400. Spidey, the web bomb attack damage increased by 725%. Definitely needed it. Web bomb specialization retract damage increased by 930%. Increased the stuck on you damage. That's the spider fist, 410%. Wrecking ball damage done by wrecking ball now scales with might instead of precision. Increases the wrecking ball damage 100%, and increase the spider nest attack damage by web damage by 150%. Nothing for the drone because the drone is OP. Hopefully they did not figure out the drone cheese because yeah, that drone is crazy right now, but definitely looking forward to testing these changes on Tuesday. And they also had some fixes down here. A reassemble campaign during the private eye flashback mission. The supply depot locks can now be interacted with. Spider-Man's web on a helicarrier will no longer be missing for some players. Oh yeah. If you're on a helicarrier and you walk by Spider-Man, he's for the longest time he's been hanging upside down, but there's no web, so it just looks like he's floating. It also happens like this when he tries to lift the hammer. If you go into Thor's room with Spider-Man and you try to lift the hammer, when it triggers the animation, he's supposed to use his web to try to pull it, but now because of the web glitch, it looks like he's just pulling air. It looks very funny. I wonder if that's fixed as well. We'll test that too. Art animation. While wearing Thor's ultimate Thor outfit, Thor's hair will no longer be invisible, with invisibility is implied. The sides of Hawkeye's tunic will no longer clip into themselves when wearing the retro outfit. We've removed a black spot on Hawkeye's right hand when wearing the retro outfit. Iron Man's suit lights will flicker properly now when using the low battery emote while wearing the Sunny Days outfit. All right. Fixed the right backpack strap on Miss Marvel's Avengers Day outfit that was experiencing strap polygon stretches with certain emotes. And for the UI, updated summer vacation bundle text to include the word bundle. Revised several perk descriptions for the Mighty Thor with correct grammar. Updated the war table to include Heroic Gauntlets gear rewards. Useful for new players. We got some more combat. Captain America's Ultimate Heroic no longer multiplies lasting damage as intended. Fixed an issue where performing certain actions would not activate invisibility as intended. Wait, what? Fixed an issue where performing certain actions would not activate invisibility as intended. Is that for Widow? I gotta say, so I know Widow's problem is that when you do a takedown while you're invisible, it turns the invisibility off. Like you're still invisible, but everyone can see you. So I wonder if that's getting fixed. Black Widow's range capacity perk now increases ammo capacity on weapons as intended. Spider-Man's target explosion perk now causes a damage explosion as intended. Nothing there. Gear challenges and rewards. Mighty Thor's Yttri's Breaker perk now increases the damage of range attacks and immune Shoten skill as designed. Known issues and workarounds. We are aware of an issue causing some players to lose access to certain outfits for some heroes, including the Mighty Thor. We are currently investigating the issue. So people who have their Jane Foster iconic outfits locked, still locked. People have been reporting this since Jane came out back in June. They just don't have access to the iconic outfit. It's just locked. And surprisingly, still don't have a fix. Apparently it's super tricky. Still don't have anything, but apparently they're still working on it. So just sit tight and enjoy the Thordis outfit in the meantime. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on the patch so far? Based on what you read, are the buffs a good thing, a bad thing? Let me know. Like and subscribe. I'm Sadot the Gamer, signing out.